Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a certified Zentangle teacher, and today we're going to take a look at the tangle Tied Huggins by CZT Lisette Hofer. Uh, Really, this technically would be a tangulation on Huggins. Really neat. Okay, we're going to start off with a 9 grid of dots. So if you've done Huggins, good. If not, make sure to go check out that video. I do have one. If I remember, I'll try to put it in the description section, a link to it. Okay, but it helps a little bit just so that way you get the groove of the the strokes that we're using. That's the word, strokes. Okay. All right. And so normally in Huggins, we would do a nice, once you have your orb grid set up, you would do, a nice curve line using the takeoff and land concept. So that's kind of going, hugging this edge of the orb, doing your curve line, coming around and hugging, landing on the other edge of the orb. For tied Huggins, what we're going to do is it's kind of, I was calling it air hollabow, because we're going to leave a gap in the center of that arch. And so let me make sure that you can see here. Let's see if I can do this one. Leaving more of a gap than what you think, because that can be filled in. So I would err on the side of wider than narrower, but whatever happens, happens. So just like in Huggins, we go, I call it over because that's the direction I'm going. And then the next one in that row, we would go under. Like that. Then, next row, we do the opposite. So this one was on the outside, so then top, this one would be on the bottom. Sometimes I say top side, sometimes I say top bottom, sometimes I say in out. It just depends. All right, and then you just continue to alternate. I think the hardest thing is leaving that gap and doing the curve at the same time. And that's why I'm just, I'm going to leave it the way it is. And I found, at first I was doing like both. I would just do a little partial, and that I wanted to have that whole flow. And even as this one is a little bit better to get the nice arch that I normally would if I'm doing the whole line. So I'm trying to have that, just like when I explain hollabow, you do the whole line at once, not just, oh, I'll do this portion and then this portion. It just helps to have it be one continuous thought process. All right, so once you have this part done, then we switch. One key to which direction to go, and I explained this on the Huggins video as well, is that this tangle, we don't cross lines. So if you're trying to determine, well, am I up or am I down? Well, we're not under or down, because we would be crossing a line. So that means it's an over. Like that. And I'm trying to make sure. Hold on. I must have tilted my camera or something, because it's like I'm trying to make sure that you can see and that I can draw at the same time. That one was a little small. Oh well. And then, same thing. Well, here, I mean, at least you have something to go on. So that way, as long as you keep that rule in your mind, then it makes it a lot easier. Okay. Last one. And there we go. And it's like, now that it's done, it's like, oh, I see Huggins, but with the gaps, it's kind of like a shine. But all right, then the tie part. So here's how I'm thinking about it. you see, this one Huggin, Hugga, no, yeah, Huggin. I don't know what would the singular be, but you see this one shape, and it's going vertical. So the tie is always going to go, perpendicular to that direction, you know. So that means this one, it's going to go this way. Now, I mentioned having these be a little bit bigger than you might think, because and then you want to make sure to take it out just a little bit, a little ways into, or I should say maybe past that line. So here, where this one didn't quite match, well, you can easily fix it and adjust. Just be very careful, right? And then, I like to do the same direction. And this one, I went, wait, well, there we go. I'm meeting that one. Like so. Okay. And then we'll turn the tile, and then it's the same idea. Oh, except I made this one smaller. So let's just make the lines here, here, there we go. And then, wow. And then I'll just adjust that one. And all right. Okay. Now, for these outside ones, you could do two things. One, if you felt like, finishing them off, or if you know ahead of time, you could just do the regular, right? And make it just a curved line. Or you could just extend it out. Get all of these. So we're going to, this is as if it's, we're hollow bowing under nothingness. There we go. Okay. Next step. If you have done the tangle laced, then this will be a familiar stroke for you. What we're going to do is essentially it's a C shape. I'm going to do it right here where it's nice and clear. But I'm coming down just a little bit from the end, going around like that. So it's a C shape kind of clamped onto this, whatever you want to call it. Or it's an oval and we're going underneath that. Whichever way you want to think about it. And then we fill in the two little ends. I call it the acme hole. So we'll do that for all of them. And one thing that I noticed, and of course you can play with, the size of these. Because I like laced, it's one of my favorite tangles. I tend to make these bigger, so I'm forcing myself to make those little sides smaller. And it's one of those that doesn't matter. Actually, if I'm remembering, oh no, maybe it was a different tangle. I'll have to go back and look at Lisette's sample, because it seemed like there were some that were maybe almost pointed. There's another tangle that I'm thinking of that has that. Now let's see. Oh, and you know what? While I'm at it here, let's just continue this. Continue this. If we're going off the edge, we might as well just go off the edge. And because I didn't do it in any particular order. I know I've missed something. Oh yeah, right here. These ones. And here. Just because that thing was just looking weird hanging out. Oh, and then here. There we go. I think I got them all. Okay, now to continue with this. And I try to do all the same direction just because. And inevitably, sometimes I sidetrack myself just like that. And then I find the ones that I missed later, but it's all okay. And this is a nice one that you can kind of lose yourself in because there's just so much, I guess, I don't know if I want to call it busy work, little work to do, things like this. And, where you're really repeating, those steps. And when you have a tangle like this, sometimes it's a good idea to make sure to take a hand stretch break every so often. If you need to focus your eyeballs on something else across the room, I think I got these all. We'll see. All right. And especially as this gets filled in and it's still flat because we haven't done any shading, it can get a little like eyeball confusing. So that's where just going slow and focusing really helps. Now, on all of these things that we just did, we're going to aura those. And of course, you could do this all in one step. You could do this part and then that part, up to you. If you are using the Zentangle as a meditative tool or mindfulness tool, that's why I kind of like to do each step separately, as long as I can. There are some tangles where it's like, nope, I need to finish that whole, like it's usually a grid pattern. I need to finish that whole thing and then move on to the next one because otherwise it's just going to get lost and I'll get confused and then that's not fun. But this one, it seems like, you can kind of do each step and just finish each step, go on to the next one and doing it, all over. And I like to do, like I said, one side at a time so I'm not flipping my tile continuously. But things like this, I like to make sure to make note of it because Zentangle was created as a way to teach meditation through art. And so I just like to make sure to reference it, especially with a tangle like this where, like I said, you can lose yourself in. And especially if you were to do it like on a larger scale. And that is it, except for some shading. Now, I'm going to debate. There we go. All of a sudden, the camera had a mind of its own. I think I'm going to fill in these. I'm going to leave a little spot open, though. And I usually do that with Huggins anyway, because as you're using the takeoff and land concept, a lot of times they get a little sloppy. Mine do anyway. Some of them, like that one I just filled in, that wasn't too bad. And also, I kind of like the added contrast to it. It adds a little something. Okay, now shading. As we would regular Huggins. All of a sudden, I'm feeling like that just. Oh no, it's still right. It's just this curve. It didn't come out good. Okay, so where things curve, where things kind of tuck under, I'm going to start here. So because that's going to curve down and essentially go under this, we have a lot of over and unders with this one. So now I'm just looking for these tops and being careful not to put any graphite here. And what I will do with this, I might as well, we'll get those sides too. Again, a lot of times I do things so that way I'm not flipping the tile and making everybody dizzy all the time. And then sometimes we'll just see. We'll see if I get them all in one shot. And then just spreading it out a little bit with the tortillon, working to not get it into here or here. All right. And this is, well, you know what? Actually, let me do, no, I'm going to do it in steps. Never mind. And then I just turn, and then it's okay, the next set of those. I wanted to do this in stages just because it's fun. All right. Because yes, we want to do the ties also, but I think it's like I said, I think it's fun to look at it in stages, um, because you know what? Maybe when you do yours, depending on what you do, and I didn't even mention you can decorate all of this, and I'll show you the samples. Today was Tough Tangle Tuesday. It's one of the free classes that I offer, and we do 2 sessions. And this was the featured tangle today for Tough Tangle Tuesday, and so we had a lot of fun with it. But this becomes a reticula where you can put in other tangles in all of these spaces, or just or you don't have to. I kind of like doing this so that way we can also see. Well, here's what it looks like just plain. All right. And then one more turn, and then, well, there's there's other things that we can do too. But I think I can see it right now because I wasn't looking in the camera. You can see that it's all of these are starting to bend, and and it just gives it such life, and it's just so neat. The shading is the magic. There. Knew I had one more. Okay, I've got all the sides now. Yes, I do. Okay. So you see how that creates that, the weave type of look. So now, 2 things. One, we can put some graphite under here because this is technically over, right? That. So there would be a shadow. It's just, I'll find it later. Oh, these. And I can just use what's left on the tortilla. I knew, like, there's another place. Oops, I didn't get that. Okay. And see, it's making it even more 3D-ish. I didn't. Oh, no, I have one more side. Okay. And last side. It does help if you do them in some kind of an order. All right, and then looking at that, that is neat. But wait, we can do one more thing. Let's see how much I have left on my tortillon here. Some of these I can do a little scoochy. That's what I call the up and down motion. And see how that helps. I don't like the little straight line, so I'm trying to like feather it, stagger it a little bit so it looks natural. And is this the last one? Because I have done this in no particular order, apparently. I think so. All right. Neat tangle. Yes. It's like I said, it takes a little bit of work, a little bit of focus, but it's worth the effort. It really is. So I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, would love it if you click the like button, and then also if you have not done so yet, would love to have you be a subscriber to the site. So if you like it enough to see more, go ahead and click the subscribe button. In the description section, you will find links to the step outs and ways to connect with me if you wish. I have a link to my website where, oh, you know what? That's what I didn't. Speaking of classes, you'll see the classes I teach. Let me show you this really quick, and then I'll finish that up. So this is one, because I mentioned you can have fun and turn this into a reticula and decorate it however you want to. So I put some Duda and some wood in, and basically I aura'd all of the Huggins sections, and then just had fun with the little orbs. So that was one, and then here's the second one that I was playing with, and a different tangle. I did the same in the tie parts, and then I just did lines in the others because I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do, and it worked. It turned out neat, and then made little pearls out of all of the orbs, so that's fun. That's always fun. So lots of fun to be had with this one. And again, so in the description section, if you would like to participate in things like this, do check out the classes page on my website so you can see what I do. There are other ways to follow me on there. If you're on Facebook, there's a link to my Facebook page. So if you follow me there, you should, I imagine, get notices of, when I put in an event. If you're on Facebook and like to hang out with a bunch of amazing Tangle addicts, click the link just underneath the page, and that's our group. So it's a private group, and there are 3 questions to answer to gain entry. So just to let you know that. But we would love to have you. We had a fun time, and I do 2 sessions on the day every day that I do things, and we do same tangle, just get to try it a different way, and be inspired by everybody else that's on. So, like I said, a lot of fun. Would love to have you join us. What else is on there? I think that's it. So with that, thanks so much for watching, and I wish you happy tangling.